global Kerala in the post-COVID world. Global Kerala, you have, like today, wherever we go in Kerala, including as soon as I entered your college, I saw football fans, huge posters happening. There is a FIFA fever across Kerala, which is very rare. I doubt if any other part of India has this much of FIFA fever. I wonder how many countries in the world are equally excited. There might be some Latin American countries, but then many people would cheer their own teams, their own countries. But how many people who have had no connection, who have very little knowledge of Brazil or Argentina or Portugal or France would go out and cheer for the teams of this other country with whom they've had very little contact. I remember some of the Western media has been criticizing Qatar, saying that Malayalis in Qatar have been hired to become cheerleaders for teams in Qatar, which is complete nonsense if they know how passionate Malayalis are about football and how they would very willingly be part of a global enterprise such as FIFA and the whole excitement as part of it. So this is just one small example. And when I say global Kerala, it is the fact that we have instilled in us a global consciousness. We have from centuries back, from the time the Judaism came to Kerala, from the time Islam came to Kerala, Christianity came to Kerala, from the time of the Arab traders, from the time of the European traders. Kerala has always been cosmopolitan. Kerala has always embraced the world. We have welcomed foreign ideas, foreign thoughts, foreign people as friends. Of course, history is history, and we cannot write off the colonial period and all the exploitation that it brought. But still, we have to remember that our approach was always one of openness. Our approach was always one of welcome to foreign ideas, to foreign people, and to foreign concepts and religions. And similarly, our people have had one of the longest traditions of going to other parts of India as well as abroad and working there. Malayalis, wherever they are in the world, are known for their ability to both adapt to the circumstances in the countries where they live, as well as to contribute very successfully, to a very significant manner to the societies and the economies where they live. In almost every country abroad, Malayalis are known as one of the most hardworking, most diligent, most successful communities. Of course, there are many people who ask and say why we don't have the same situation in Kerala. That is a different question altogether, and we can discuss that as part of the question answers. So we have always been a global Kerala, this global consciousness, the world consciousness has been one of our biggest strengths. And it is in this context that we must see what is happening in the post-COVID world. Post-COVID, as every one of you know, has been one of the most disruptive moments in history. A tiny invisible virus has completely overturned the lives of people, caused deaths, caused illness. Many people even today complain of post-COVID symptoms. It has disrupted the health systems of large number of countries, and it has completely overturned the economy, causing mass deprivation and unemployment. COVID has also been a period where inequalities have spread very rapidly. It is sad to note that even today there are a large number of countries in Africa where they have not been able to provide their people with even one vaccination, while in countries of Europe people have got to 4 vaccinations, 5 vaccinations, etc. But going beyond, if you also look at the economy, most of you who follow the economy of India would know that a few business houses have become richer and richer and richer throughout the COVID period, while large number of business houses went under, collapsed, large number of people lost their jobs, and even now people are just struggling to recover from all the disruption that has been caused by COVID. On top of all the disruption that COVID has brought has been the recent most unfortunate developments in Europe, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which has brought war back to Europe for the first time since Second World War, which has raised fears of a Third World War, maybe even a nuclear war, because Russia has been threatening use of its nuclear weapons. Ukraine has been sort of talking about joining the NATO, which means it will come under the nuclear protective umbrella of NATO countries, but that will increase tensions even more. And the war is effectively a stalemate. Russia has not been able to overpower Ukraine, nor has all the sanctions imposed upon Russia by Western countries succeeded in bringing Russia to its knees. As a result, what has happened is, globally, there is inflation, there are food shortages because Russia and Ukraine have been the largest food suppliers to the world. There are fertilizer shortages which are going to affect the agriculture in many countries in the long run. And as happens whenever there is a major international crisis, oil prices have gone up, and along with it, the US dollar strengthens and the rupee in particular, as far as we are concerned, weakens. So today the world is looking at the possibility of a long drawn-out, extended war in Europe, whose end we don't see in sight. We do not know how long it will continue, and we can only try and manage the consequences. But at any rate, what we learn with great sadness is that the ideals with which the United Nations was founded post Second World War, the principle that all disputes should be solved peacefully through dialogue, through cooperative means, and that the world community should come together to try and mediate and address problems between countries without having them go to war. All these ideals have collapsed in the aftermath of this recent war, and truly the world looks at a future which is extremely turbulent, extremely uncertain, and which it is going to be full of ups and downs with no clear direction in terms of the future as to whether we move from strength to strength as a world community or as humanity, if we think of us as a whole. So in this turbulent world, what stands a state like Kerala in good stead is this global consciousness. What stands a state like Kerala is our ability to adapt to what happens in the world and to integrate ourselves with the positive aspects of what happens in the world. For young people like you, globalization can be a mixed blessing. In fact, there are big scholarly debates as to whether we live in the period of a deglobalization or a deep integration of world economies. Deglobalization because in a way COVID brought out the worst in countries. Every country started looking out for itself, making sure that their own people have medicines, their own people have vaccines, without bothering about the others. So this is what people argue is deglobalization. A natural selfishness inherent in human beings was brought to the fore by COVID. But at the same time, in consonance with trends that have been happening in the past, COVID also revealed to all of us the power of technology. We all learned how to work online. We all learned how to have classes through Zoom. We all learned to have meetings online. There are many companies now in the post-COVID world who have decided that they will only have 2 or 3 days when people will go to work and the rest will be working home from online. So technology, which has been one of the biggest disruptive forces in modern day, has also acquired a new salience and a new importance in the post-COVID world. So to come back to Kerala and to young people like you, I would say that you must build this global consciousness. You must build, you already have inherent in you much wider exposure and knowledge of the world than most people in other parts of India do, or even other parts of the world. Please remember that technology and the internet have made you an equal to to anyone, anywhere in the world. There is no difference between you and the best student in the United States or in Europe or in any other part of the world. You have the same access to knowledge through the internet. You have the same access to online tools. And you have the ability to go online, to discover, to learn, and to equip yourself with skills and knowledge in the same manner anybody, anywhere in the world. So what you need to do is truly to absorb this technology, is to make it yourself, be masters in the use of technology, in the use of internet, even in the social media, which today has the potential to bring you friends from all over, partners from all over. So you need to be able to use this technology to navigate through the turbulent times that lie ahead. In my, the introductory speech spoke about my career in the Foreign Service, and I've lived and worked in many countries in the world. I've been in Hong Kong, I've been in Beijing, I've been in Geneva, where I worked in the United Nations, I've been in Washington DC, I've been in Dubai. My last posting was in the Netherlands. I've worked with the Indian President, I've worked with the Indian Foreign Minister. But through all this career, ultimately I have to say that what stood me in stead is the education I lived in. I received in Kerala. My schooling was here in Kerala. My initial education in Trivandrum, my high school in Kerala, my 5 years of Maharajas College, and then for 2 years in Jawaharlal Nehru University. So the fundamentals of our education system are very good. If you can establish a good foundation for yourself in those fundamentals, then you look forward to the world with great confidence. And in all my experience across the world, let me assure you that the one commodity in India which is absolutely world class and uncontested by anyone is our human resources. Indian people are good. We have an innate ability to understand complexity by just the nature of our the diversity in which we live, and to manage that complexity towards positive ends. So our human resources are the best in the world. Our human resources do extremely well wherever they go in the world, and our human resources, especially the younger generation like all of you, when equipped with knowledge, additional skills, and analytical abilities received through the internet and other means, you can truly be world beaters. So I use this occasion once again to pay tribute to a great scholar and teacher like Professor Antony, and to urge and encourage each one of you to look to the world with confidence, to sail forth with a spirit of adventure, and to conquer whatever horizons you choose as yours, the path that you choose to travel upon, and success will surely be yours.